Today on Destination Polaris. Mountains, machines, and mayhem. It's a Razor Nation takeover in the heart of Appalachia. Destination Polaris starts right now.
Destination Polaris is presented by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
Welcome to Destination Polaris. I'm standing in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains in Southwest Virginia. I'm about to go explore the Coal Canyon trails, and I'm not going alone.
Today's adventure brings us to southwestern Virginia, Grundy to be exact. This little Virginia town sits right next to the borders of both Kentucky and West Virginia. Mountainous terrain, endless trails, and plenty of room to adventure. Sounds like the perfect place for one group.
Razor Nation! Woo! Razor Nation!
That's right, Razor Nation.
Razor Nation was formed as a riding group so we could get all of our friends together that love the sport and love the outdoors to come out and enjoy what we all love. We formed the group about 3 years ago, and we're at about 6,000 members now, so we're growing fast.
That's a lot of Razors. All 6,000 members couldn't make the trip, but the ones that did have plenty of personality to go around.
We have a blast. Our personalities mix well.
I'm meeting up with Chris and company at Southern Gap Outdoor Adventure before heading out for the day.
You can see the sights, see what you want.
With the crew assembled, it's time to hit it. The Coal Canyon Trail System spans hundreds of miles and connects a handful of towns in the area. I'm a first-timer riding here in the Coal Canyon, but I'm not the only one.
So we normally ride in West Virginia, the Hatfield-McCoy Trail System. This is our first time here at the Whole Country Trails, and we love it. We've had a blast.
This trail system has a little something for everyone.
We have blue trails, green trails, and black trails. The green is the easy trails, which if you're coming out and you're in a rental machine or it's your first time out, I would say stick with the green trails. If you're more intermediate rider, the blue trails, that's for you, you know. And if you want to pick your poison out here and maybe try something more technical, the black trails, it's a lot like skiing, you know, it's like a black diamond. The heart of the Appalachian, they're really a big part of the marketing of the trails. People who don't know about the trails, they market the trails to them so they can come up and see what we ride every day.
Kim Short is a part of the group that makes sure the fun can happen.
In 1993, the state of Virginia recognized that they had a region that was very unique in its offerings as far as outdoor recreation. They formed part of Appalachia as a marketing authority that would market this region. And part of that was the ATV and UTV trails that were created. And those trails tie to the downtowns where we can bring in the riders, they can ride their machines from one town to the other.
Kim found out firsthand that it doesn't take long for the Razor Nation crew to make you one of their own.
The Razor Nation crew was awesome. They took me in, I walked up on Sunday, I didn't know anybody, and they just took me in, and it's like I was one of them suddenly. You get out there in those razors and you don't feel the bumps and the rocks, and it was just a ton of fun for me.
Welcome to Razor Nation, Kim. There's no lack of vistas out here on the trail. I can't help but stop and stare.
Yeah, this is quite the view.
This is beautiful. I mean, look at all the states. I mean, you can just see forever on a clear day. And some of these views you can see as many as 7 states, though. I've been doing some mining down there, and I tell you, though, these trails are beautiful. This is our first time up here, and I think it's become our most favorite spot.
That's what I hear, and now I understand why. Everyone's like, you know what? This might be our new jam.
Yeah, absolutely. When you can look down on all the trail systems, get a view like this, you know, the Southern Gap Outdoor Adventure location is nestled right in the middle of 200 miles of trails. A friend of mine, Jerry Williamson, and I, we were the only 2 riding at the time. This was in 2014. The Razors had just hit the market. The 1000s did anyway. So we were out climbing hills, and him and I would get to top of a hill. He started jumping out and yelling, "Razor Nation," you know, real loud. And so when we formed the group, I thought, what better name, you know? It's awesome. Razor Nation!
Hey, when in Razor Nation. After a full first day of riding, it's time to head back to camp at Southern Gap.
Southern Gap was actually founded as a business after the Coal Canyon Trail System was formed. So Southern Gap was built, and it started as a campground, and it has evolved into cabins. They have a camp store and just several things going on there.
Okay, so maybe calling it camp was a bit of an understatement. The views from Southern Gap are amazing, but when the sun goes down, the fun doesn't stop.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me about the crew that we have.
So we have some comedians. Sing it, Lee! We have a singer with us, so Lee is going to entertain us.
Taking overseas in the middle of
When Lee gets cranked up to singing, it's all laughs around the campfire. We have a great time.
in the summer sun, all dressed up.
You know, the whole thing about it is with Razor Nation and the guys, I mean, it's a lifestyle. I've got a saying that where the cell phone service ends, the fun begins.
I feel like I'm in a music video for real. Till the break of dawn, baby, got it going on.
Fun is right. Our Virginia adventure is just getting started. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications. Rockford Fosgate, purpose-built audio. Full throttle battery, the one that works. And by Super ATV, the leader in aftermarket parts and accessories.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. The Coal Canyon Trail System in Southwest Virginia offers over 200 miles of off-road riding. We're ready to see some more of it, but first.
This is meat bread. Everything that Razor Nation cooks has just a little bit of meat in it. Or a lot. Meat bread. I've never heard of meat bread. Is this a Southern thing or is this a Razor Nation thing?
I'm ready to roll legs if y'all ready to eat.
I mean, I think
Really good.
No Razor Nation adventure starts without what the average person would consider a grandiose feast.
Yeah, so we all like to eat, and we brought some of the best cooks around, I guess, east of the Mississippi, I think. They really do a great job.
I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking for a lot of people, and like most people, if you fix something where you're a mechanic or whatever, you get a lot of joy out of getting something accomplished, and same thing with cooking.
You have to like cooking a lot to haul your own smoker across the country. Fueled and ready, it's time to get back out there. We can see our breath at breakfast, but when you're with Razor Nation, it never takes long for things to heat up. What better way to get warmed up for a day of riding than an obstacle course right on the property?
I did the tires, the big tires, the mud bog, and then the figure 8 obstacle course. Oh, flying through the mud. I love that all day. I'll go through a mud hole in a heartbeat. Come flying through that shallow mud puddle. That was awesome.
Oh, that was wonderful. Awesome. I love hitting them water holes. I mean, it was amazing, and just doing the little swirls around, and it's just, I love it. Hey, you haven't sent it till you sent it through a water hole.
Hold on, I gotta get this. I gotta.
Yeah, she beat
Get this
everybody.
on camera.
Yeah, so Alexis has the part record championship in all Razor Nation. Check that out.
Full send.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I must trust her a whole lot.
You told her to hit it.
You did. Hey, she did a good job.
I guess I'm officially Razor Nation approved. Being just a few hundred yards from camp, we couldn't help but stop back in for lunch before getting back out there. You don't have to go far from camp to experience some amazing riding.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is like I said, amazing views, and there's mud, hill climbs, rocks, dirt. I mean, there's something for everybody.
Just a little bit of mud. That's how Razor Nation does it.
If you're into mud or if you're into the hill climbs or whatever you're into, I mean, it was very, very versatile. We had a bunch of different machines in our group. We had a Ranger and a General, and it's a very, very nice system. There's something for everybody.
It's not as rocky as what some of the other trails we've ridden in the past. It was very smooth, very well maintained. You can get some good speed on those, not too difficult.
Smooth and casual, yes, but no lack of beauty. Don't let the intensity fool you. Razor Nation is more than just a riding crew.
It's all about togetherness and camaraderie and just a real tight-knit group of people. I mean, it is a huge tight-knit group of people, just like going riding with family.
We enjoy camping, cooking together. We enjoy, all the technical stuff that we go through. We've been to some positions in the trails where we have to help each other out, flat tires, things like that. It's the camaraderie.
Oh, we all got great chemistry together. We all ride together. It's effortless. We all have our roles. We all kind of fit in really well, and there's no egos. We check those at the trailhead.
No egos here. Since arriving at Southern Gap, I've heard a lot of talk about elk on the property.
Part of the elk herd that was introduced into Virginia kind of hangs out around Southern Gap. So in the evenings, in the mornings, you can see the elk, you can hear them bugle.
Tonight, I'm on a mission to see one in person.
Where's it at?
With daylight fading fast, I'm starting to think this elk thing is just a Southern Gap legend.
We found the elk. And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, yeah. There is a huge one over here with a huge rack.
One of the most incredible things about Southern Gap was the fact that they got the elk. You've got to go a long ways to see wildlife like that, so it was amazing.
You can see them right in Grundy, or take a short bus ride for an even bigger herd.
The elk up there were just amazing. I was telling some friends of ours, it's amazing how close they are to where we live day to day, and just to see that kind of wildlife up close. It was absolutely beautiful.
The elk were a sight to be seen, but check out this view.
To me, the best part is when you get on top of the mountain and you get to have a sunset dinner with amazing views that we can see, I think, 3 counties last night.
Yeah, especially watching the sunset over the overlook. That was awesome.
Pretty amazing view. Doesn't get much better than this. Plus a couple elk down there as well.
Come for the elk, stay for the view. What a perfect way to end a stellar day.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Walton's, everything but the meat. Aluma Trailers, Aluma Adventure, take fun anywhere. Razorback Off-Road, hardcore products for your side-by-side. And by Shock Therapy, the premier UTV suspension tuning company.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. We have had an awesome time here at Southern Gap exploring the Coal Canyon trails, but today we're packing up and heading out to see more of Appalachia.
Today, the Razor Nation crew and I are packing up at Southern Gap and headed for a small town with plenty of charm. The ride to Haysai is roughly 15 miles, and like many towns on the trail system, it welcomes riders with open arms.
Haysai is just like the picturesque small southern town. Historic buildings, small town feel, friendly people, and just really a neat town that you can ride your machine into. You can ride right up to the restaurants.
You know the town is rider friendly when the mayor meets you for lunch.
Larry, Mayor of Haysai. Thank you so much. It's a cool little town.
Well, we think so. Thank you, though.
We'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. Haysai is kind of unique in that it's not like a lot of other Southwest Virginia towns. We were never a coal camp town. Our town originated as more of a merchant type founded town.
Okay.
And then, of course, the logging and the mining business came in. Those kinds of companies needed to be able to have, a steady supply of their needs and their, the goods for the rising population. Yeah, Haysai is a good little town. It's a welcoming town. We're proud of it. We've been working really hard over the last 10, 12 years now to make it more of a tourism destination town. Increased popularity of off-roading.
Sure.
And of course, the ATVs and UTVs.
Yeah.
I think we were actually the very first ATV-friendly town in Southwest Virginia. And then we have moonshine and music.
What else do you need? Right?
Oh, that was amazing. Pretty cool little downtown spot with a rushing river running right through the middle of it.
Haysai is one of a handful of towns riders of all kinds can access.
Turns out Southwest Virginia isn't just for off-road vehicles.
Appalachian Backroads is one of our main initiatives, and we have 14 different motorcycle and sports car routes, and it's over 1,500 miles total of just backroad curvy riding. But all of the backroads are tied together.
Whether by trail or back road, Haysai offers plenty of things to do.
Moonshine has been historically cultural in the Appalachian Mountains, and fortunately most people are doing it the legal way these days.
We ran this one yesterday. This is a 150-gallon copper steel. We produced about 40 gallons off of that.
That's a lot of moonshine. And it's historic. It's been passed down for generations, and it's such a cultural thing, I feel like, in this area.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is a huge part of Appalachian country. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is where the moonshine was born.
Before we get to enjoy some history, we need to pack up and head to our final destination.
More from Razor Nation in Southwest Virginia when Destination Polaris returns.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by RZ Mask. Get 99.9% filtration from dust and dirt. Flow Fast. Riders need to flow fast. Polaris Adventures. Adventure everywhere. And by Switch Pros. Programmable switch panel power systems.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. We've covered a lot of ground in Southwest Virginia, but it's pretty tough to beat a view like this.
We've ridden from Grundy, Virginia to the town of Haysai and now onto the Breaks Interstate Park.
The Breaks Interstate Park is named Interstate Park because it actually is managed jointly by the state of Kentucky and the state of Virginia. It's on the line of 2 states, and the Breaks has the ATV trails connected, but it also has the lodge, it has cabins.
The riding around the Breaks is more technical than our previous rides. Narrow trails, steep hill climbs. This one is not for the faint of heart.
Oh, this is beautiful. Once again, it's well maintained. And some of the prettiest scenery we've seen. That's what we're just talking about, just looking out underneath it. It almost feels like a rainforest.
A rainforest in Virginia. Who knew?
You also can do mountain biking, you can do kayaking, horseback riding. They have a restaurant where you can just sit and have your morning coffee, and the views are just amazing.
Throughout our trip, we've covered plenty of ground, saw wildlife, and made countless memories. It might have been Razor Nation's first time in southwestern Virginia, but it won't be their last.
We're talking about coming back up in the next 3 weeks.
Wherever this group goes, I know one thing's for sure. They'll be shredding the trails and having plenty of fun.
We camp, we sing by the fire, which we often do. We just like to hang out and have fun. It doesn't matter what we do. We're gonna have fun doing it.